Viewers, I greet you. This is the Genevieve Kibumba YouTube channel. Today we are talking about marriage in an African setting. A lot of marriages are happening today, and at the same time, a lot of them are breaking today. Someone said, beauty is busy pushing girls in marriages while character is very busy pulling them out of marriages. There is this wise saying that marriage is not so much finding the right partner as it is being the right partner. I'm going to amend or reverse a very common statement. It is commonly said that marriage is not a bed of roses. But I want to tell you, marriage is a bed of roses. Whichever side you turn, you are on a rose. Whether you are on the thorny part of it or on the sweet scented petal, it is still a rose. A rose without thorns is not a rose. And marriage has its sweet part and the thorny part also. Experience has caused me to conclude that many marriages will break from the women's feet. And no marriage dies on the women's knees. You will ask me, what do you mean? This is what I mean. The feet are a sign of submission, rather a sign of exaltation. A wife is meant to submit to the husband. When a wife stands on her feet and equates herself to his height and to his education and to his this and his that, then she stands up and puts her hands akimbo and starts to tell him his inadequacies, equating or unequating him with other men. There, the marriage is on its way to breaking. And that is a woman on her feet. The man with an exposed ego will quickly want to show her that where she's more vocal, he is simply stronger. Then wife beating will set in. The knees are a symbol of submission. Very few men will beat their wives when they are on their knees. On the other hand, it is very difficult to quarrel when you are on your knees. However annoyed you are, you cannot say, "My husband, you are stupid," when you are on your knees. You will need to stand up and utter such statements. Many men tend to listen to their wives when they are submissive. You may not literally kneel, but when your heart is kneeling, it will show in your voice. If you check and sample out marriages that broke, many marriages broke on the women's feet. Ladies tend to stand up and stand with their hearts and feet when they get more money than their husbands. When their job commands more respect than that of the men, many times they want their husbands to be part of their subjects. That is a wife on her feet. Statistics has shown that marriages of women that are socially and economically higher than the husbands break more often than their counterparts in lower socio-economic status. Ladies that are politically successful, it will take double grace for their marriages to stand. At a point in time, a lady may have to choose between her political career and her husband. Many times it is a very big challenge to balance those two masters, the political career and the marriage. And many times the political career takes preeminence. It is very difficult to submit to a man who has less powers than you do. My wise pastor keeps telling us that that you should not marry a man that you don't respect. If you don't respect him before marriage, you will not respect him after marriage. Success is made up of very many small things done right. Something as small as a husband tucking in his shirt is very important. When your husband has tucked in his shirt and has buttoned his wrist button and has put on a necktie, he will not easily act funny. In fact, he will not provoke a fight. You cannot fight with a necktie because they will strangle you. Men with neckties and tucked in shirts, they respect themselves more than otherwise. My advice is, let your husband have fewer short-sleeved shirts and free wears. It will be for your own good. Watch and see in public places. The men that easily fight are those men that have free wears. Their shirts are not tucked in and they are short-sleeved. If they are long-sleeved, they don't have the buttons on the cuffs, on the scarf, and they will easily pull it up and start charging for a fight. The free wears are not good for your husband, dear wife. It has not only been said, but has also been written that behind every successful man is a woman. This is true, but it is a foolish woman that is behind her husband. A wise wife is not behind her husband. She is by his side. God made Eve from the rib of Adam, not from his backbone or his spine. When a wife is behind her husband, she does not see what her husband is doing. Many wives don't know what their husbands are doing because they are behind them. What they think they know, they are just suspecting, and many of those suspicions are false. Wives should be abreast with their husbands' activities and developments. They are supposed to be helpmates, not otherwise. Modernity, or coping, has introduced a very strange name in the family. A woman's strong attachment to her husband is that title, Mrs. Him. That should last forever. But it is common, and in fact almost everywhere, that when a woman gives birth to a baby, she stops being Mrs. her husband, she becomes Mama Baby. By being Mama Scovia or Mama John, you are partially detaching yourself from your husband. Keep that title, Mrs. Don't easily switch it to Mama Sanyu or Tata Simeon, where Sanyu and Simeon are the names of the children. That creates a crack in the bond of the marriage. Marriage is oiled by physical communication. Don't get used to WhatsApp conversations. You need the facial expression of each other, especially when discussing major issues like complaints or compliments. When you talk after work and you talk physically, that strengthens the bond. It is easier, by the way, to tell a lie on a WhatsApp message than when you are looking each other in the face. All the above are small things, but when done right, the marriage will be a big success. Watch and see, and compare your marriage with the marriages that have succeeded and those that have failed. Check out on the points that I have talked about and see whether you can salvage your marriage or it's beyond. Thank you for listening.